The mother with no name asked her as she sat on a cold metal street, her back against the wall of a shop that had long stopped caring. The sky above was full of noise. Ships flying, lights blinking, people talking, but not one person looked down. The woman's hands were dirty, her clothes were torn, her face was tired. Her child lay curled in her lap, breathing slow, too weak to cry. A small bowl sat in front of them, empty, just like yesterday, and the day before that, and every day since. She arrived on this planet. No one knew her name. No one asked. They called her street thing, parasite, beggar, and she said nothing in return. She was not from here. Her skin had soft blue patterns that glowed faintly at night. Her eyes were silver. Her voice was quiet, too quiet for this loud world. She had been someone once, a mother, a wife, a healer, but now she was nothing. Just a shadow on the edge of the crowd. A human woman passed by holding a coffee cup. The mother reached out, her hand shaking. "Please, my child." The woman pulled her coat tighter. "Don't touch me." The child whimpered. The mother held him closer. He was so light now. Bones, skin, a little heartbeat that slowed more each day. Just a little food, she whispered. Anything. People kept walking. A soldier in armor stepped over them. A merchant looked down and laughed. "Should have stayed on your own planet." The mother didn't answer. She had no strength left. Then a small coin dropped into the bowl. A soft sound. The mother looked up. A human man stood there. He wore a faded jacket, no armor, no weapon. His boots were dusty, his face calm. He didn't speak, just looked at her. His eyes didn't have hate in them. They had something else. He crouched beside her and looked at the child. "When did he last eat?" the man asked. The mother tried to speak, but her voice cracked. 3 days, she whispered. The man stood, walked away. She thought he was gone, but a moment later, he came back with a wrapped bread and a bottle of water. He knelt again, opened the bottle, held it to the child's lips. The boy drank slowly, then faster. His hands shook as he tried to hold the bread. The mother helped him. Tears ran down her face. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you." The man didn't say anything. He just watched. People began to stare. A vendor nearby hissed, "Hey, don't feed that thing." The man stood, turned to the vendor. "Why not?" "They're not like us," the vendor spat. "They bring disease, trouble." The man didn't move. "Go ahead," the vendor said, pointing at the mother. "Give her your food. Give her your jacket. Next thing, she'll follow you home." The man looked back at the mother. Then he took off his jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. "Maybe that's not such a bad thing," he said. People around him muttered. Some shook their heads. Others turned away, but one person stopped, an older woman. She placed a soft blanket beside the child, then walked on without a word. The man sat beside the mother. "Do you have a name?" he asked. She looked down. "Not anymore." He nodded. "Okay, then I'll call you Strong One, until you tell me different." She smiled, just a little. The child finished the bread, leaned into his mother's side. His breathing was stronger now. "You saved him," she said. Double quotes. "No." The man said. "You did. You stayed. You didn't leave him." He looked at the city around them. So bright. So busy. So blind. "But now, I'll stay too." Asterisk the human who asked why. Asterisk the street was quieter the next morning. Gray clouds moved above the city, covering the rising sun. The metal ground was wet from night rain. And still, she sat there, the woman with no name, holding her child close. But today was different. Today, she was not alone. The human man sat beside her again. Same jacket, same silence. Only now, he carried a small bag of food. He handed it to her gently. "Eat first," he said, "then talk." She didn't ask questions. She tore the bread in half, gave the larger piece to her son, then bit into hers with quiet hunger. After a while, she looked at the man. "Why are you helping us?" she asked. The man didn't answer right away. He stared ahead, watching the crowd pass by. Then he said, "Because no one else did." His voice was calm, but inside, he felt a storm. He remembered the last city, the broken wall, the crying children. The day he left his unit because of what they did to people who begged. This was his chance to do something different. The woman watched him. Her name was Kira, but she didn't tell him that yet. "They hate us," she said. "Not all of us." He replied, "Most." He nodded slowly. "But not me." The child finished eating and leaned against his mother. What's his name? The man asked. Kira paused. Then whispered, Zane. The man smiled. Strong name, like his father. The man said nothing. He knew that pain. That evening, they moved to a side alley, away from the main road. The man helped them build a small tent from old cloth, gave them his blanket, stayed nearby. He slept sitting up, one eye always open, and when Kira woke up coughing in the night, he was already handing her water. He didn't ask for thanks. Did in single quotes. He asked for stories. He just stayed. By the third day, Kira started to speak more. Not just about the present, but the past. She told him of her world, once green and bright, now turned to dust by war. She told him how Zane was born under a broken moon, in a tent lit by stars and fear. She told him how she had walked through 6 cities before this one, and how no one had ever stopped. Not until him. What's your name? She asked finally. Lennox. He said, You're a soldier. He replied, Not anymore. Why not? He looked away. I followed orders. One day, those orders were wrong. Kira nodded. She understood. Too many people followed orders. Not enough followed kindness. Later, while Zane slept, Kira and Lennox sat by a small fire behind an old storage. They spoke in whispers. You could walk away, Kira said. I won't. They'll notice you helping me. You could be arrested. Then I'll be arrested. Why risk your life? Lennox looked at her, his voice low. Because when I look at you, I see someone who never gave up. Someone who still fights. And that's worth protecting. Kira blinked slowly. For a long time, she didn't speak. Then, her voice cracked. Thank you. But kindness has a price, and the city had eyes. The next morning, a voice shouted from across the street. You, soldier, step away from the alien. Lennox turned fast. 3 enforcers stood near the corner. Armed. Angry. A small crowd began to gather. Phones raised. Whispers started. He's protecting a parasite. Someone said, Is that even legal? Look, he gave her food. Kira pulled Zane close and stood, ready to run, but Lennox stepped in front of her. She's not a threat, he said. The enforcers moved closer. One raised a stun baton. You're helping an unregistered alien. That's a violation. She's a mother, Lennox said. Her child was starving. Not our problem. Now it is, Lennox said calmly. You want to take her? You'll have to go through me. People gasped. The enforcers hesitated. No one expected a human to stand up for a street alien. The moment stretched. Tight. Dangerous. Finally, one of the enforcers stepped back. This isn't over, he growled. They left. The crowd broke. But now, everyone knew. Lennox had made a choice, and it couldn't be undone. That night, Kira cried. Not because she was scared, but because, for the first time in years, someone had chosen to stay. The shame of being seen. The next morning, Kira kept her head low. She wrapped the child tighter in the blanket Lennox gave her. The corner, where they once sat, felt colder now. Even with food and warmth, the air was heavy with silence. Not because no one saw her, but because now everyone did. Since the enforcers walked away the day before, everything had changed. They weren't invisible anymore. They were watched. Filmed. Judged. People stopped and stared. Some whispered, others pointed. A group of young humans passed and laughed. Look, the soldier and his alien wife. Maybe he adopted that thing. Kira looked down. Not because of fear, but because of shame. Lennox stood beside her, arms crossed, back straight. But he noticed it. Eyes, phones, rumors. He turned to Kira. We need to move. Where? She asked. Somewhere quieter, safer. Kira hesitated. Moving meant risk, but staying meant being seen, and she wasn't ready for that. She nodded. Okay. They walked through the back alleys of the city, carrying Zane, who still slept most of the time. His little body had grown weak again. The food helped, but something else was happening. He's warmer than usual, Lennox said. Kira touched his forehead. He always glows like this when he dreams. Glows? She looked at Lennox. His father was a memory keeper. Zane has part of his gift. Lennox said nothing, but he remembered something from his time in the war. Rumors about certain alien children born with memories they never lived. It was dangerous knowledge. People feared it. And now, Kira's child was one of them. They found an old service station on the edge of the city. Abandoned. Quiet. Lennox helped Kira set up a small bed for Zane in a storage room. They lit no fire, used only small lights. They had to stay hidden now. This place is better, Kira said softly. For now, Lennox agreed. He looked at her. You're still afraid. She nodded. Double quotes, not for me, she said. For him. Lennox sat beside her. You don't have to be ashamed, he said. I'm not, Kira replied. But I am tired of being looked at like we're dirt. She paused. When they ignored me, it was easier. Now, they hate me louder. Lennox listened. He had no answer, only understanding. That night, Kira had a dream. Not of war, not of her home planet, but of a room filled with light. Her child stood at the center, glowing from inside. He spoke, but not in words. Just memories. Memories of old songs, of rivers on her homeworld. Of her husband's arms, and of Lennox, standing at the edge of the light. Not afraid. Just there. When she woke up, tears were in her eyes. Zayn was still sleeping, but a soft light pulsed from his skin. The next day, a video started to spread across the city. Someone had filmed Lennox protecting Kira from the enforcers. The clip was short, but powerful. Comments exploded. Some angry. Some hopeful. Some confused. Is this the human who took in the alien? Why would a soldier do this? Maybe she's not what we think. And suddenly, Kira's face was everywhere. She didn't know it, but the galaxy was starting to watch. Voss, a woman in uniform, stood in the control room far from the city. She watched the video, paused it, zoomed in. She knew Lennox. He had gone, missing weeks ago. Now, here he was, protecting the child of the enemy. She picked up her calm. Bring him in, she said. Dead or alive? Voss looked at the screen one more time. Alive, for now. Back in the station, Kira looked out a cracked window. Rain fell again, but the world still moved. People still lived. And she still hid. Not because she wanted to, but because she had no choice. She looked at her child. He was glowing again, but this time, his eyes were open, and he looked straight at her. They're coming, he said softly. Kira froze. Who? The ones who fear me, Zayn whispered. What do we do? She asked. He reached out and touched her hand. His voice was calm. We wait for the man who stayed. Asterisk hunted for kindness. Asterisk a quiet alarm buzzed far above the city. In a dark room full of blinking lights, Officer Voss stared at a large screen. She pointed to the face on it. Lennox. He had a record. A soldier gone soft, she said. But this is treason. Behind her, a group of armed agents checked their weapons. Bring him in. Bring them all in, Voss ordered. If the child really is what the rumors say, he must not leave this planet. Back in the old service station, Kira packed fast. Blankets, water, leftover food, all into a warm bag. Lennox paced near the door. He had seen something from the roof. Shadows moving smoothly. Watchers in the alley. A drone that flew to low, then vanished. They were being tracked. Again. We have to go now, he said. Kira lifted Zayn. The boy's skin was warm. He looked up at her without fear. They know, he said again. Where can we go? Kira asked. Lennox thought hard. Then said, down, beneath the city. Old tunnels ran like veins. Forgotten paths built long. Before the war, before aliens came, before people like Kira were hunted. Lennox knew these tunnels. He had used them once to escape. Now, they would save lives. He led them through rusted doors and broken lights. Cold water dripped from pipes. Their footsteps echoed through the dark. Zayn didn't speak. He just kept glowing. Softly, hours passed. They stopped inside an old bunker room. Dust. Silence. Old human posters on the wall. Protect the stars. Protect your home. Kira sat against the wall, holding Zayn close. Lennox sat near her, watching the hallway with his rifle ready. I used to believe in this, he said, pointing to the poster. Fighting for peace. Defending the innocent. What changed? Kira asked. He looked at her. Double quotes. I saw what they did to people like you. Zayn stirred. His body pulsed brighter. Kira touched his face. What is it? My child. The memories, he whispered. They're waking. Lennox stepped closer. What do you mean? I remember voices. Names I never learned. Places I never saw, Zayn said. They're all inside. Kira looked at Lennox. My husband was a memory keeper, she said. He passed the seed into Zayn before he died. It holds the past of our people, our language, our stories. If Zayn dies, they all die. Lennox sat down slowly. Now he understood why they were being hunted. This wasn't just about fear. This was about control. If a human protected a child like Zane, it meant change. And they didn't want that. Suddenly, a sound. Footsteps. Close. To close. Kira grabbed Zane. Lennox turned off the small light. Silence. Then flashlights. Shouting. Double quotes. They single quotes. Ran here. They ran through the tunnels. Turning left, then right, climbing old ladders, ducking under broken beams. Gunfire echoed behind them. Lennox fired back once, not to kill, but to slow them down. Go, Kira, he yelled. She didn't stop. She ran with everything she had. Zayn in her arms, her breath heavy, her heart full of fire. This child was her whole world, and she would not lose him now. They reached a wall. Solid metal. No door. No way out. Trap. Lennox checked his weapon. Get behind me, he said. Kira did. But then Zane stepped forward. His small hand touched the wall, and light spread across it. A circle opened. A hidden exit. An old path forgotten by time. Lennox stared. How? He remembers, Kira said. He sees what used to be here. They stepped through, and the wall closed behind them. On the other side, silence. The path was narrow, but clean, lighted by old power still running. Zayn looked up. We are safe. For now. Lennox bent down to him. How do you know? Because the memories told me. Lennox smiled slightly. Then keep remembering, kid. We'll need all the help we can get. Back in the tunnels, Voss stood at the sealed wall. She touched it. No response. He opened this, she said. The child. Yes, she whispered. And if he can open old systems, then he can unlock more. She turned to her team. They're not running anymore. They're leading us to something. Follow them. Don't lose them. In the hidden path, Kira looked at Lennox. Thank you again. He shook his head. Don't thank me yet. We're not safe. Not until we're far from here. What do we do now? She asked. He thought for a moment. Then said, we stop hiding. We start planning. The truth inside the child. The tunnel opened into a deep chamber. Old lights flickered from the ceiling. There were broken crates, dusty wires, and ancient machines that hadn't moved in years. Kira looked around. What is this place? Lennox stepped forward, checking the shadows. It's a relay station, used during the early days of colony war. Most people forgot it even exists. Zane walked slowly, his hand brushing against the wall. Every step he took made the lights glow brighter. He's waking it up, Kira whispered. Zayn turned to them. They're waiting, he said softly. Who? Lennox asked, but Zane only pointed to the center of the chamber. In the center, there was a large black platform. Round. Smooth. Covered in symbols. Zayn walked toward it. When he stepped on it, the floor lit up. A soft humming sound began to rise, and then a voice, not from Zayn. Not from any of them. But from the platform itself. Memory seed confirmed. Access granted. A projection rose from the platform. An alien woman. Tall, strong, glowing patterns across her arms. Kira gasped. That's my grandmother, she whispered. The image spoke. If you are seeing this, then the memory lies. I'm Elra of the River Clan. My people are gone, hunted, burned. But I left behind this seed in the blood of my children, so that we would never truly die. Lennox listened in silence. The child who carries this seed will one day awaken our voices, and with them, a warning, a secret kept from the humans who destroyed us. The image flickered. Not all humans are the enemy. One will protect the memory. One will carry the future. They must find the gate. The image vanished. Silence. Again. Kira dropped to her knees. Tears in her eyes. They knew, she said. They knew this would happen. Zane looked at Lennox. You're the one, he said. The one who protects. Lennox shook his head slowly. I'm no savior, kid. But Zane stepped closer. You stayed. No one else did. Suddenly, a sound from behind. A sharp click. Then a cold voice. Don't move. They turned. Officer Voss. A pistol in her hand. Behind her, two soldiers. Lennox raised his weapon. But Voss laughed. Please. You're outnumbered. Again. Kira stood in front of Zayn. Voss walked closer. Slowly. You really think this child is special? He's a living hard drive. Nothing more. Once we extract the seed, we'll shut him down. You'll kill him? Kira asked. Voss shrugged. It's just data. Zane stepped forward. His eyes were glowing now. You fear what you don't understand, he said calmly. Voss laughed again. And I destroy what I fear. She raised the gun. But then, the lights in the chamber changed. Turned gold. Warm. The machines around them came to life. Screens lit up. Holograms floated. And in the middle of it all, Zane began to float. His body lifted slowly. His arms stretched out. And from his chest, a symbol glowed, the same one from the projection. And then he spoke, but not in his voice. In the voices of hundreds. Male, female, young, old. We remember the rivers, the mountains, the stars. We remember peace. We remember war. We remember pain. And now we remember truth. Voss dropped her gun. Staring. Afraid. Zayn looked down at her. You were told we were gone, he said. But we are not. We lived in stories, and now we live again. Voss stepped back. What are you? Zane landed slowly. His voice became small again. I am the past. And the future. Lennox stepped beside him. You'll have to go through both of us, he said to Voss. But she turned and ran. Later, when the light faded, Kira held her son. His body was warm, but calm. She looked at Lennox. The gate, she said. The memory said, we must find the gate. Then that's what we'll do, Lennox replied. Far away, Voss sent a message. We failed. She told her commander. But I saw it. The seed is real, and it's awake. The voice on the other end replied coldly. Then it's time to send the real hunters. No way out, but forward. Night fell hard across the city. The wind howled through metal streets. In the distance, red lights blinked in the sky. Ships moved like hungry birds, searching the ground. Deep below, in the tunnels, Lennox checked his weapon. They'll be here soon, he said. They won't stop this time. Kira stood behind him, holding Zane close. The boy's skin still glowed faintly. His breath was calm, but his eyes were not a child's anymore. What's happening to him? Lennox asked. His memory seed is fully awake, Kira said. He knows too much for someone so young. Zane looked at them both. We must find the gate. Where is it? Lennox asked. Zayn touched the old wall beside him. A soft hum echoed through the stone, through the fire. He said, past the place where stars sleep. Lennox frowned. That sounds like a trap. It is, Zane said quietly. And then, the lights flickered. They were no longer alone. A loud crash shook the tunnel entrance. Dust rained from above. Metal screeched as it bent. Then footsteps. Not human. Heavy, fast, without sound. The hunters had arrived. Lennox stepped forward with his rifle raised. Get back, he said to Kira. Take Zane. Run if I fall. No, she said. We stayed together. The tunnel split ahead. One way led to an old train shaft, the other to darkness. They ran toward the train path. Behind them, shadows followed. Not officers, not soldiers. Machines. Built to hunt memory. Seeds. Zayn turned once and raised his hand. A blast of blue light flew from his palm, striking the tunnel ceiling. Rocks fell behind them, blocking the way, but not for long. They reached the train shaft, an open metal path above. A deep pit. Keep moving, Lennox shouted. They ran across, but halfway, something moved ahead. A drone, small but armed, floated into view. It aimed at Kira. A flash. Zayn threw up his hand. A shield of light formed in front of them. The blast bounced back, hitting the drone. It crashed and burned. Zayn single quotes. Knees buckled. Kira caught him. I'm okay, he whispered. Just tired. On the other side of the shaft, they reached a broken station. A door sealed tight. Lennox placed Zane's hand on it. The same glow appeared. The door opened. Inside, darkness, but also safety. For a moment, they entered, sealed. The door behind them. Silence again. Kira placed Zane down gently. He looked pale. To pale. His small hands trembled. He's using too much, Kira whispered. His body can't take this forever. Lennox knelt beside him. What can I do? Stay close, Zane said. Lennox nodded. Double quotes always. They sat together in the old station. The room was quiet, filled with dust and old machines that no longer worked. This used to be a resting point, Lennox said. For miners. Kira closed her eyes. We need rest too. But before they could sleep, the walls began to glow. Symbols appeared. Ones Kira had seen only once, in her family's ancient books. What is this place? She whispered. Zane opened his eyes. A piece of the gate, he said. We're close. How close? Lennox asked. Zayn stood. His body no longer shook. His voice was steady. We're one memory away. Just then, another explosion rocked the tunnel behind them. The hunters had broken through. Lennox grabbed his weapon. This is it, he said. We hold them here. Kira nodded. She handed Zane something small, a stone pendant from her neck. No matter what happens, she said. You keep going. Zane looked at her, eyes full of light. No, he said. Zane, I'm not leaving you, he said. But I can lead them away. Kira stood. Absolutely not. Listen, Zane said. I'm not a child anymore. Not in here. He touched his head. They want me, not you. If I show them what they fear, they'll follow. Lennox shook his head. It's too dangerous. Zane smiled gently. Everything worth saving is. He stepped toward the center of the room. Raised both hands, and the entire station lit up. Holograms. Maps, star charts. In a line, glowing, pointing to a location far across the planet. That's where the gate is, Zane said. Then he turned. You go. I'll buy you time. Kira ran to him. Hugged him tight. Come back, she whispered. I will, he said. As Kira and Lennox escaped through a hidden path, Zane stood tall in the light. When the hunters broke through the wall, they found more than a child. They found a force they didn't expect, a light so bright, even the machines paused. And Zane said just one line. You forgot we remember. She begged. Now the galaxy listened. Sky was dark above the mountains. No buildings. No lights. No noise. Just wind, dust, and stars. Kira walked slowly, her legs tired, her heart heavy. Beside her, Lennox moved carefully, watching every path. His arm was cut, his face was bruised. But he didn't stop. Neither of them did. They had come to far. And ahead, between the ancient rocks, was the gate. Not a machine, not a door, just a soft light in the shape of a circle, floating in the air, humming gently. They stood before it and waited. Kira looked back down the valley. He's still not here, she whispered. Lennox placed his hand on her shoulder. He will come. Deep beneath the earth, Zane stood in the old station. The hunters had surrounded him, but none dared to move closer. His body glowed now, not with fire, but with memory. His voice echoed through the chamber. You tried to erase us, he said, but we were never gone. One of the machines stepped forward. You are dangerous. No, Zane said. I am truth. He raised his hand. The station filled with sound, voices from the past, speaking in hundreds of languages. Songs, prayers, stories. A flood of memory. The hunters stepped back. And then the walls cracked. Light burst from the floor. The seed inside Zane had grown strong. The machines fled. But Zane didn't run. He turned and followed the light upward. In the mountains, Kira looked up. A beam of light broke through the clouds. It struck the ground behind them. And from it, Zane appeared. Walking slowly, his clothes torn, his face calm. Kira ran to him. Held him. He was warm, alive. And full of power. You came back, she whispered. I said I would. Zane smiled. The gate began to hum louder. Zayn stepped forward. His voice soft, but clear, open. And it did. The light spread wide, revealing a vision inside. Stars, rivers, forests, and faces long forgotten. Memories of a people nearly lost. But not anymore. The gate had waited for the one who remembered, and he was here. Lennox helped Kira forward. Together, they stepped through the gate. On the other side, a quiet land, untouched, sacred. The air smelled like life. And across the sky, a signal appeared, not just for them, but for the galaxy. Zayn raised his hands again and spoke. His voice was now heard across all systems. We are not gone. We were never parasites. We are mothers, fathers, children. We are memory. We are light, and we deserve to live. Screens blinked across cities. Ships stopped. Leaders listened. People remembered the video of Kira begging. They remembered how no one looked. But now, they could not look away. In one city, a child turned to her mother. Why did no one help her? The mother had no answer. In another city, a man stood from his chair. We were wrong, he whispered. Across planets, protests began, voices rose, and the name Zay was spoken in every tongue. Back at the gate, Kira knelt beside her son. You did it, she said. Zane smiled. We did it. Lennox placed a hand on both their shoulders. What now? He asked. Zayn looked at the sky. Now we build again. 1 year later, a new colony rose near the gate. Half human, Half from Kira's people. No walls. No guards. Just learning. Just healing. People from across the galaxy came to see it. Some to help. Some just to say sorry. And on the wall of the first building, a large image. Kira, holding Zane on that cold metal street. A reminder of what it means to be seen. To be heard. To be helped. And below it, the words, she begged, and finally, the world listened.